Hi, I'm Paula Jean Harrison from the Fintech Times. I'm here on behalf of the Power 50 at Money 2020. Would you like to introduce yourself for me, please?
Hi, I'm Vasile Valcov. I'm Chief Commercial Officer at SaltEdge.
Fantastic, thank you. And why don't you give us a bit of an introduction about SaltEdge and what the company does?
SaltEdge is an open banking vendor. So we've been in this place right from the beginning, before open banking existed as a regulation or even concept since 2013. We do open banking technologies and we work with banks, EMIs, fintechs, but also a lot of companies that provide business solutions like ERPs, accounting softwares, cash flow managers, and many others.
Amazing stuff. And so, I guess my first question to you is, what power can access to the right data unlock for financial institutions?
I think the data can help financial institutions make the right decisions in a much faster way. We can take as an example financial institutions that provide credit, loans to consumers or businesses. And especially after COVID, the situation is very dynamic and can change pretty fast. And the traditional ways of how these institutions would be making decisions by consulting credit reference agencies is not good enough. It's not fast enough. Open banking, by giving access to real-time data of the customers through connection to their bank accounts, help them get the data in the right place at the right time and make the decision really fast.
Amazing. And so in that way, how has the value of good data evolved?
That's a good question. I think the demand for open banking solution has increased significantly in the past few years. Of course, this is driven by regulation, but not only. So seeing how companies apply this technology in real life drives it up, right? So the more people use it through our clients' applications, then the more important it is to the entire ecosystem.
Fantastic. And so when is open finance going to sort of develop into open data, do you think?
Well, let's wait for open banking to develop into open finance first. Because here I think we're still at the start of the journey. So there's a lot of discussions going on in the UK about this topic, but not everywhere, right? So a lot of countries don't have open banking regulation yet. But we also see some countries like Australia adopted a different strategy on this. So they have started with banking, but they incorporated all customer data into their consumer data rights. From our perspective, people need to access, and they have the right to access their data, not just the banking one, but like any data they own anywhere they would like to do. Our job is to provide the rails and the technology for that to happen. So the sooner the better.
Absolutely. And so I guess moving on from that, or carrying on from that, I should say, is could you tell me a bit more about sort of SaltEdge's relationship with open banking itself?
Yeah, so we started out as a PFM, and one of the first features that our customers requested was access to their bank accounts in an automated way. And that's when we've built our first open banking service to provide the account information service to them. Of course, the regulation helped us in a way that banks are obliged to provide the APIs, which make the connections better, faster, more secure. And this helps us spread out the use of the technology. But also along this journey, we understood that the banks themselves will need help to become compliant, and we've built our Open Banking Compliance Hub. So we help quite a lot of banks and EMIs to be compliant to the regulation in Europe, in the UK, but also expanding now to Middle East and Latin America.
Fantastic. And obviously, Money 2020 happens every year. It's been a year since the last one. What's changed in that year between June to June?
Last time it was September, and it was after COVID. So this year, I think people seem to be more comfortable for face-to-face meetings. So I visited last time, and I sensed that people missed face-to-face discussions. Now it's a lot more people. We have a lot more connections that we're managing to establish, but also reconnect with our clients and partners. A lot of good stuff going on, so we're happy to be here.
Amazing. And what's changed in the industry over that year as well?
I think we're seeing much more companies offering solutions around banking and payments and crypto, KYC type of solutions. For sure, payments is an area that still needs like a lot of investment from an open banking perspective. So For account information services, we have like tens of different use cases that have been implemented in lots of countries. For payments, it's a bit earlier, but the growth is there. So a lot more companies speak about open banking in payments.
Amazing. And then finally, just thinking about sort of the next year, what do you see from the future and what's going to be important to SaltEdge as a company?
So in the future, in the next years, we want to see more adoption of the open banking regulation in other markets, not just Europe, but also we want to see how the regulation develops in the UK, in Europe, to allow for variable recurring payments, for example. So the base is there, but there's a lot of opportunity that can help both merchants and other businesses, but also consumers benefit from the open banking technology so they can make easier payments, better payments anywhere they need to pay.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for inviting me.